So we've been getting a ton of emails and comments asking questions about why, oh why? Why would a seller sell their property to you and keep the loan in their name, right? It's a huge question. So in this video, I am making this for you so you can watch it and you're gonna know exactly why a seller would do that and how we're able to walk into and explain transferring our beliefs, negotiating over to the seller so they'll understand how we put it all together. And further, you're going to be able to go out there and understand and have confidence when you're negotiating, because confidence wins in negotiations. All right, let's do it. Okay, class, it's Chris Haskins with therealestateroundup.com. My mission, my ministry is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. So today I'm going to go over 8 reasons why homeowners leave the loan in their name and let us buy the property and just keep making the payments on that same mortgage. Sounds crazy, right? First, we have to understand what is subject to. That's what we're talking about right now. We're buying the property subject to the existing financing. And all it is we're stepping in for the seller. The loan stays in their name. We make the loan payments, but we're not assuming the loan. I know a lot of people saying, oh, that's just an assumable. No. We don't assume mortgages, y'all. The loan is going to stay in their name. We're just going to make the payments. All right. So don't think that you're going to go and sign and put your credit at risk. I don't want you to do that. All right. So let's go over these 8 here so you can have confidence. See, I believe you are purposeful. I believe you are direct with your thinking and you have goals, which is the reason why you are right here, right now. So you can understand how to negotiate with these sellers and comprehend why they're doing this. Because it held me back for many years, many years. I thought that no one in their right mind is going to sell me their house and keep the loan in their name. Who does that, right? So today, after today, you're going to know exactly why they do it. Okay, so number 1, the borrower, my favorite, the borrower has passed away, right? A lot of us are thinking, man, if the seller dies, well, then the deal is dead, right? No. How many times have we done this? When the borrower passes away, the heirs have the opportunity to settle that estate. Could be the wife, could be the kids, could be a loved one, could be a neighbor, could be so many people that are going to deal with this estate. But since the borrower is no longer with us, then the credit is irrelevant. And further, the lender is not going to be getting any more mortgage payments from that borrower. Now, the heirs might make the payments, but we're going to step in. So the person that's in charge of that estate or in charge of whatever's going on with that loan, they don't have any risk. So they can pass the loan on to you without it damaging their credit. So when the borrower passes away, it's a great opportunity for us to come in and negotiate that subject to deal, okay? Number 2 is going to be if the property has little to no equity. A lot of times homeowners want to sell their property, and you know what happened over the last few years. People are bought at the top of the market. Ain't no equity, right? So this is the only way they'll be able to sell the property without bringing money to closing. So this little to no equity has 4 other bullets that you need to comprehend, right? Confidence wins. Little to no equity, and the seller has no money for the transaction fees. Those fees right there, they add up. Let's say you're selling a $300,000 house. Just in realtor fees, yes, realtor, not realtor. Oh God. 6% in realtor fees, what's that? 300,000 times 6, that's 18,000, 6, 12, 18,000 you got just in realtor fees, not to mention closing costs and any repairs that are going to have to be done to the property in order for them to sell it. So they don't have any equity, plus they don't have the money to bring to closing for those fees. So it could be 25,000 plus, because sometimes we have to pay the buyer's closing costs just to get out of that deal. So they've got little to no equity and they need money. A lot of times people are in whatever binds they're in. They're buying in car payments. They have health issues. They have to deal with other living arrangements. They need money now, but they don't have enough equity to cash in, right? So that's where we can come in and negotiate. Miss Smith, how much money were you looking for? We can actually write a check, take over the payments, and that will be a win-win for you and the seller, all right? They have little to no equity, but they're moving, right? They can't sell the property. It hasn't sold. They need to move. Round up, I'm telling you, you cash them out. It allows them to move on with their life and move on to the next property that they're moving to. and you're going to save their credit, right? You're going to continue making these mortgage payments. They could be behind in payments. You're going to bring them current. Okay, so some people really do care about their credit, right? I used to care about my credit till I stopped using it, right? So while you're watching this, there are some links in the video below where you're going to get a free negotiating audio. I'm going to show you exactly step by step how we negotiate these things inside of the home with a seller. I took my little recorder in there. See, I can't take video into people's properties. I can, but they don't necessarily react or negotiate the same way they do when I have a recorder. So the Ninja Negotiation number 5, you're gonna get that for free right in the video description below. You can download it. Get trained up now so you know the words to use when you're negotiating subject to. Number 3, next, they want you to help another family. You will be surprised how many deals I've done where the seller's like, you know what? This neighborhood and this property deserves another family, another mom with kids. So we're going to do this deal with you. So they're going to see what you're going to do. Not to mention you're giving them money, right? But a lot of people want a beautiful, a nice family to move into their property. Somebody good, clean, and wholesome, as you would say, right? So some people are looking for you to turn that around, right? And they're depending on you to do that because they can't sell it. Little to no equity, a lot of things adding up. And they want you to win. You'd be surprised. People really do want you to win. Number 4, they have multiple mortgages or judgments. This is a big one. I never forget I bought a property. I'm doing a deal, still doing it. Guy had $90,000 in child support, right? So we're still trying to buy it, keeping some of those child support judgments in place, and then we'll negotiate it later. But when you have tons and tons of judgments on a property, it could add up to more than what the property's worth, right? So you can actually buy the property, keep those judgments in place, and then negotiate them later at another time. All right. So, and then multiple mortgages. Somebody could have 1, 2, 3 mortgages on a property. I know I've had them. Let's say, for instance, if you have 3 mortgages, first mortgage payment is $1,200, second mortgage payment is $300, third mortgage payment is $300. So all that adds up. What's it? 12? That's 12, 3. That's $1,800 you got paying. One of those mortgages might start to fall through the cracks, right? That's where we can come in. That's how I got my house where I live at now. We had 3 mortgages on this one, and I was able to come in and clean some of that stuff up because the seller didn't want to make those payments anymore. Third mortgages, I have been foreclosed on second mortgages. They will foreclose, but they're never really top of mind when it comes to the homeowner's monthly payments. So they got that first. You know you got to pay that first, but the second, I'll get around to that when I get around to it. So that gives you an opportunity to come help the seller out. Multiple mortgages is a big one, and that's a good list you can pull with PropStream. Get your a free trial of PropStream down below too. The seller is in pre-foreclosure. Want to save their credit. There are a ton of people out there that have to keep their credit clean. So when they get in pre-foreclosure, it's an emotional situation. I have been there, and I've seen my mentor. He lost 13 houses. When you're in pre-foreclosure, you don't necessarily see things clearly. So when you can come in and speak those words and help the homeowner understand what you're doing, then that's going to help. You're going to be able to close the deal. So that's another one. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sellers try to do a short sale, but it's not going through. So as from here and beyond, there are going to be a ton of short sales. Why? Because over the last few years, people bought top of the market, can't sell. So they're going to have to approach the banks to say, Mr. Bank, would you please allow me to sell this property for less than what I owe on it? But a lot of times the banks won't actually give them the number that they need. Let's say they owe $400,000. The bank may say, well, we'll take $350. Well, I got an offer over here for $310. That's not going to work. So, and most of the time, these short sales take time. They get dragged out. So you got to think about lenders. They got piles and piles of short sales going on. So while they're dealing with that, you can come in and say, you know what, Ms. Smith, while you're waiting on this short sale, I could write you a check for 10 grand. Now we could be done with the deal automatically, right? That is magic, y'all. I'm telling you, you can step right in and help a lot of people. Next, the seller, they don't want to wait for a traditional buyer. See, a lot of times people are under the gun regarding wanting to get out of the deal. They might have a property they're moving to that they're already paying a mortgage on, or they could have a rental property that they're moving to and they have rent to pay. So they don't want to stick around and wait for the traditional buyer and they're gonna have to do home inspection and all that stuff. It's gonna take 45 days for the loan to close and everything. We can close right now. So a lot of times people don't wanna wait. They're like, what can you do for me now? Matter of fact, I had a lady call me. She said, listen, I'm gonna sell this house or list this house this week. What you gonna do? I had to make the lady an offer over the phone. People ready, they wanna move. People ready to move, man. Things are loosening up, you know, all that stuff's over from 2021, 22, all that stuff's done. People ready. And finally, you can always tell if somebody might do subject to if they've rented the property in the past. What do I mean by that? So they're selling it right now. But if you look in the history of the property or you Google it, you might see that they tried to rent it or they had rented it in the past. So that means that they are kind of open to monthly payments in their mind. So you can get in there and possibly, I'm not saying all the time, but you can possibly negotiate a great deal with these sellers because they are in the investor mindset. They may be willing to listen to what you got to say. All right, so we'll be doing, make sure you're on our email list. That link's in the video description. You got to join so you know when we're going to do our next subject to lease option workshop. You have to understand this as we move to 2023 and beyond. This is going to be your secret sauce to staying in business like I have since 2004. All right, you got to know creative finance. So round up, take a second and subscribe to the channel. It is my honor as we pass 117,000 subscribers. We're getting, I don't know, 500,000 minutes watched a month. Like this content and make sure you share with any other investors that are trying to just comprehend why on earth would anybody leave a loan in their name and let me buy the house and just make the payments? That don't make sense to me. All right, so now you know. We've went over the 8 reasons. You got it down, yo. I don't want you to be scared. So get out there, negotiate a great deal, and help a lot of people. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.